Welcome to Simplyrobotix, the podcast exploring the animation industry one episode at a time. I'm your host, Monique, and you can find me on all social media platforms at Simplyrobotix. That is Simplyrobotix. And remember, when listening to the show, use the hashtag Simplyrobotixpod. That way you could join in the conversation and I could find what you're saying and, just reshare it on social media, what have you. Cool. So as you can see by the title of this episode, this week I'm going to be talking about Elizabeth Ido's animated series that's currently streaming on Netflix called City of Ghosts. Now, I remember seeing articles about this maybe 1 to 2 years ago, so I'm just happy that it's out. I feel like I did have kind of one perception of it, which was very faint. I didn't really remember what it was about. So, I watch the trailer? I think I just jumped into the show. I didn't even watch the trailer. And you know what? Let me just continue. As always, I have the links to a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about in this episode in the show notes, meaning the link to the trailer and links to the articles that I'm going to be referring. As I said, this is currently streaming on Netflix, and it premiered in March of this year, 2021, depending on what year you're listening to this show, because, whatever. The description, as found on Wiki, says that a group of kids in this hybrid animated mockumentary series discovers stories around the Los Angeles area by directly communicating with the ghosts that inhabit the city. The series was announced, I told you, a couple of years ago in 2019, and Elizabeth Ido worked on Adventure Time as a showrunner. So if you enjoyed Adventure Time and the many spin-offs, but stuff that was also inspired or created by people who worked on Adventure Time, Rebecca Sugar. Let's just talk about it's about 6 episodes, so I just want to talk about kind of each episode individually. So I guess it's like partial spoilers, because I don't think anything that I'm saying is going to really take away from your viewing experience. But if you want to stop here and say, no, I'm actually going to check out this show after watching the trailer and then come back and listen to this episode, I think now is a good time to make that decision. Okay, so let's say you're just like, no, I just want to hear what you have to say, Monique, and after I hear it, I'll decide if I watch this or not. Fine, cool, let's keep it moving. The first episode is titled The Sort of Japanese Restaurant, and the description is, in Boyle Heights, a restaurant has a phantom come during the night, annoying the shop's owner. The Ghost Club comes to the scene to find out what's really going on. So I don't really have too much to say about this episode. I think it's a great introductory to the show, to the characters, and to the style that the show is, to the style of the show, the way that they're telling their stories. I immediately fell in love platonically, like an adorable way, falling in love, right? With the main character, I would say Zelda. She's so freaking adorable. I just love the voice. I love the character design. And, I'm just like, oh, you're so cute. In this episode, there's a character named Thomas. And they are a part of the Ghost Club. Now, as they're introducing themselves, they say, my pronouns are they, them. Like, my name is Thomas. My pronouns are they, them. And I just was like, wait, hold up. Like, that's really amazing. One, the characters in the show are so young, clearly. And the intended audience is also so young. So to have so early on in the show for a child character to be like, they, them, clearly non-binary, was really impactful for me and moving. And I didn't go back to see if in the first episode those were the pronouns that they were used. And I didn't pay attention, unfortunately, to the rest of the episodes to see how the other characters address Thomas. I know for sure that they use the appropriate pronouns, but I just am so used to hearing it to a certain extent that it probably was just what stood out to me was just the fact that they articulated that this is my pronouns,